How did Cold War propaganda distort espionage truths? Imagine a world where every shadow hides a spy, and every conversation could be a trap. During the Cold War, this was the reality painted by propaganda, but how much of it was true? Propaganda from the Western side, especially the United States, often made Soviet espionage seem like an unstoppable, malicious force. They exaggerated the number of spies and the danger they posed to make communism look like a threat that could destroy Western society from within. This created a climate of fear that justified aggressive policies and increased suspicion of anyone with ties to the East. In reality, espionage during the Cold War was a complex game played by both sides. The Soviet Union relied on a network of agents, including illegal operatives who lived undercover in Western countries and recruited foreigners traveling in the USSR. Notable spy rings like the Cambridge Five in Britain and the Rosenberg case in the United States were real, but their stories were often used to amplify the Soviet threat beyond what actually happened. Western propaganda painted the Soviets as fanatical enemies, aiming to infiltrate and destroy Western democracies, often ignoring the fact that Western countries also engaged in spying and covert operations. The truth is that espionage was a two-way street. Western agencies like the Central Intelligence Agency and Federal Bureau of Investigation also conducted spying and used misinformation. The United States, for example, ran the Venona project, which decrypted some Soviet communications, revealing real espionage activities. But because this was kept secret for many years, the public only saw the exaggerated stories that painted the Soviets as all-powerful spies. From the communist perspective, Western propaganda distorted the picture by portraying the Soviet Union as the main aggressor, ignoring Western covert actions aimed at socialist states and movements. This created a climate of fear and suspicion that led to witch hunts and repression in the West. People were accused of being spies based on flimsy or fabricated evidence, which fueled anti-communist policies and limited political dissent. This distortion affected how espionage networks were viewed and handled. It made governments more suspicious of their own citizens and justified harsh counterintelligence measures. The real story was far more complicated, with both sides spying on each other and using intelligence for political gain. But propaganda simplified this into a battle of good versus evil, making it easier to justify hostility and repression. So, Cold War propaganda distorted espionage truths by making the Soviet threat seem much bigger than it was, while downplaying Western spying activities. It turned a complex web of mutual espionage into a one-sided ideological fight, which helped justify policies of fear, suspicion, and repression that shaped the Cold War era.